have 4.
Okay.
Would you like a sip of
You
Chris's?
didn't buy him a clearly Canadian.
I did not.
Jared Fogle.
Shut up! God damn it!
He knows the meta.
Okay, well, tonight, since Rib cannot be with us, I have found someone to sit in, and it's very exciting. Guys, Santa is here.
Oh my god.
Hi, Santa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are
and you?
Terrible.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I appreciate you taking time out of your, busy schedule to be here with us.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get shot down by these drones anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been
That's
a lot
terrible.
of things in the sky, and
Yeah.
before I don't want to. Let's get him some cookies. You want to get him
You
some
want a cookie?
cookies?
Would you like a cookie?
I would love some cookies.
Because I told him I said, and by Rib I meant Chris Kringle, of course. I said, give us 5 more minutes. We're gonna start the show. We'll give you cookies in a second. He was very pushy about it, and I understand. It's the season is coming up. He's stressed.
And cookies.
You do.
Yeah.
2 cookies an hour.
How about this?
Okay.
How about this? 2,
Yeah.
and we throw in a pretzel rod.
Perfect.
A little salt to the sweet.
Perfect.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe a Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
I have one.
Not
You
a
know what?
sponsor.
I saw Hershey's in the fridge. Maybe we can make him a couple of chocolate drizzled rods.
Ooh.
I love a jizzled rod.
Stop.
Jesus Christ.
Good God.
Rizzled jod.
So dumb.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, Santa, this is a real treat.
Yes.
Love to be here.
Yeah. Are we on the naughty or nice list?
Depends.
Is it by person thing?
Yeah.
Well, what about that little boy over there?
This little guy,
Me.
little Jimmy over here,
Yeah, little Jim.
he's been a good boy.
He's been a good boy.
have.
Yeah.
I was gonna say majority of the people that you've heard on this show have probably would make the naughty list, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Rich.
Not Rich.
Not Mr. Rich.
Especially Jared Fogle.
Okay.
I heard
okay.
good things from Santa. He was like, he came here. He said, "Where's Rich?"
Rich.
In his sultry voice, and we said, "Oh, he's up in the aisle.
Yeah.
He's up the aisle, Santa. You
Yeah.
made a wrong turn.
What about?
But he's coming. I'm telling you, you got something
What
good
about
coming."
these 2 little girls?
These young ladies,
Yeah.
half and half.
Which one's the naughty one? Me? How dare you?
Flip a Christmas coin.
I flipped a Christmas coin.
Santa. Huh.
It's terrible.
Well,
Did Santa get possessed by Harvey Dent? Is it like
I think so.
the Christmas?
But he's like
I'll flip
reverse,
the
like
coin.
the bottom half of him is burnt. So that's why he wears the trousers, because he's hiding his split personality.
well.
Oh my god.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome back.
Hey.
Aye.
Hi.
No, it's
Hi.
ho ho.
Oh.
No, don't go. Oh no. Say
no.
ho ho ho.
Oh, whoa.
His beard's in the way. It's all right. Give me-
All right. He's really just going to town on them cookies.
It's been
That's
it's been
okay.
a long time coming.
I know.
Pretty
Well,
drunk.
you're
We
gonna
went
be eating a
down
lot.
3 wrong chimneys trying to get here.
Yeah. I know.
Christ.
Did you guys watch anything good this week?
I did start a funny show. I
Yeah.
was telling you about it at work the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a sitcom that takes place in like a fire station. It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but firefighters. And it's called Tacoma FD. It's on Netflix. It's so funny. Like the first episode, they're like trying to get this alpaca out of like a playground set, and the alpaca is scared, so it keeps spitting at them.
You were telling me this, and that's why
And
I was
they're
like, this sounds
covered-
Reno 911.
And they're all covered in like alpaca spit by the end of it.
Ew.
And then like as a
I wonder what
thank
that's
you,
like.
and like as a,
Excuse me while I go to the zoo.
and like as a thank you to them, like the lady who owns the alpaca like gives them like a $300 gift card to like her store that she makes the.
All right, stop. All right. No, listen.
Oh, I'll bleep that.
All right, no. Okay.
Okay, with the gift card, and
yeah,
then
but like a $300 gift card to the store that she like makes alpaca like themed stuff with, and she only gave them one, so they have like a tournament to see who like gets the gift card. And there's like the stupid guy in the station, and his name is Ike, and he gets gaslit in the episode.
by the llama.
No, he gets gaslit in the episode by the other guys at the fire station that they kill alpacas for their fur.
Okay.
So he like starts like protesting it and everything. And he's like,
That's crazy. I've never seen it.
it's so funny.
It sounds amazing.
It's awesome though.
Naughty list.
Yeah. Huh?
Did
The
you?
ones that were killing the packers.
Oh
Naughty
yeah,
list.
fuck yeah.
Yeah,
You can take their fur
exactly.
and not. You don't have to kill
If
them.
you hurt an animal, you're on the naughty list.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Unless they're for food
Exactly.
and they're starving. But who's alpacas are too salty. No thanks. I don't like them. I've never had alpaca.
Okay. Did you guys watch anything? What was
We-
the movie on Wonder Time this week?
This week in Wonder Time, it was 1988. Scrooge with
Oh,
Bill Murray.
classic.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
I've actually have never seen it in its entirety.
I loved it. I thought it was so loose and like almost bad. Like it was almost like a mess, but I loved it. And the Grim Reaper, he opens up his coat. There's like a bunch of little gremlins living in his ribcage. It was like hell. It was so cool. It was a bunch of puppets and shit.
What I
That's
didn't
cool.
like about it was, Bill
Santa,
well,
come on.
Bill Murray was kind of a dickhead.
Well,
And you're
it's
not
kind of-
used to Bill Murray as a dickhead.
You don't remember him in Groundhog's Day? Like he was kind of a dickhead
He
in that
wasn't
too.
really a dickhead in that.
This guy was like putting kids
When-
against a
hold
wall
on.
and like getting in their face.
When it got to the point where he was fucking done with everything after the 90th day,
Well,
killing a groundhog is
Let's
fine.
just, the biggest
Oh.
offense, in Groundhog's Day is that she drinks sweet vermouth as like a drink.
And Santa, for the record,
Santa.
for the record, I don't listen to no groundhog. Santa says when it's winter and when it isn't. All right, so let's get that straight. And if I
Isn't
saw
tonight
that
the winter
groundhog in an
solstice?
alleyway, you ever see Maxine?
I have.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Isn't tonight the winter solstice? Doesn't winter begin tonight?
No, I think that's tomorrow. The 21st.
Sounds like
usually.
something we can Google.
Yeah, where on your Google?
Well, you know what?
What do you mean tonight
By
at
the
midnight
time
on the dot?
this is released,
Oh, yes.
it will be winter.
Winter solstice 2024 is Saturday, December 21st, 2024.
Santa, you know
at
everything.
my
4:21
God.
a.m.
Wait, let me give it some wind.
fucking
Let's do
say.
some
Wait.
Foley stuff. Hold on, ready, guys? Yeah, give me some sounds. Hold on a second. That's gonna sound
amazing.
good. That's gonna sound good on the replay.
well,
Thank you.
Let's see. The other day, it was like a rainy day.
Go on,
Everyone was
Santa.
at school, so I was like, I have some time to. So I put on Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker tapes on Hulu, and old Stinkmouth, right?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
That was what everyone said. His breath was.
Did he lick
kicking.
himself like a
No, he
cat?
had like really bad like decayed teeth and all this stuff. So it's like you hear him talking to like the interviewer, and he goes to the interviewer. He's like, "Well, you're not going to make me look bad, right?" Like,
You did that. You
are you kidding me?
yeah.
You did that
You did
yourself,
that
bitch.
yourself.
No one's
Like-
telling you to smile in your mugshot, sir.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Like he was like, you killed grandmothers. You killed like awful.
He did a lot of.
This one girl, it's so horrible. He like gets into the house and she's scared because she heard her roommate get shot at in the garage. She hides behind the kitchen island and waits. She sits there for a while, thinks he's gone. As soon as she pokes her head up, he fucking shoots her.
That's
Like
awful.
Like he sat and waited for
waited.
her.
It's awful. Like
That's
He,
crazy.
a monster. And then there was a lady that married him in prison.
yeah.
And
Yeah, dude. Like
I don't understand
I heard about
that.
that with Dylan Ruth too, like love letters and shit. And it's really interesting. The
Like,
was there love letters sent to Eileen Wuornos? I fucking maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
Marilyn Monroe?
Well, not from me. And if it was,
lot
it was a
of,
different
like,
name.
A lot of that, like,
Smokey Valentine.
a lot of that stuff is like more like male killers.
well, Bundy had a bunch
Yeah.
of groupies. Like, they all,
and,
even
like,
Dahmer.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
And like after death, like on the online age, like Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold had
Ugh.
like a lot of fangirls and everything. Like
Disgusting.
The main website for that was Tumblr. And
No.
Girls love a bad boy, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. They did not write
They
erotica.
did. They did. Mm-hmm. They did.
That's
if you go on like AO3
I'm
and
good.
Tumblr
I'm
and
good.
Wattpad, there is a fucking Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold smut out
That's
there.
disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Anywho,
Oh my god, that sounds terrible. What website is it so I can avoid it? That was Mac from It's Always Sunny. I'm not taking credit.
also, like a couple nights ago, I watched Barbarian again. Cause I'm like, yeah, cause I'm
reprisal?
a reprisal.
Hell yeah.
A barbaric
Good one.
reprisal.
The one thing
How do you feel about Mama?
I love her. Did you know like the guy who played her, the mother?
Yeah.
Like I DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, oh, I loved I loved the movie. You did such a good job.
I love your.
Okay, no, gross. But then I asked him. I'm like,
I want your Milky.
okay.
Ugh.
But I asked
Santa
him,
Claus.
Santa, yeah, get it together.
I thought, I didn't expect him to be this loose. That's
No,
pretty cool.
Yeah, but I asked him. I'm like, did you get to keep the milkers as a souvenir? And he didn't respond.
Oh, you can say milkers, but I can't.
I can say milkers.
want
Don't say
your
milk.
Milky.
Don't. That's
Santa, with all due
'cause
respect,
that
she's
sound-
not king of the North Pole. Let's
and
just...
also that phrasing sounds icky.
And I would also be careful because I heard something about I shouldn't even say N list, the naughty list.
Yeah.
Uh,
A long list of what?
naughty list.
Yeah. yeah.
You guys are on it, so I would kind of try to give him. Let's try
You
to
think
meet
I'm
halfway.
trying to get on the nice list?
no. I mean, doesn't everybody want it?
No.
Big stack of coal.
Hey, a stack.
I'll be
Stack.
warm. Don't worry. But the only thing, like, Barbarian, I wish they would have touched on a little bit more.
Her titties.
Stop! I swear to God. Okay.
We're gonna have to like cut this out.
Yeah. Is the backstory with the guy who did he abduct those women? Like that woman, he went to her house and he's like, oh, I'm checking the water, but he's like was following her. And then
Maybe I mean, because all the houses on that street were abandoned, so would he just go house to house and just?
I don't know. I wish they would have touched on that a little bit more.
There's certain things like where when you say, oh well, that's part of the mystery. I'm like, I'm a guy where I'm like, it's just leaving certain information out doesn't automatically equal a mystery.
Right.
It's about what you leave out. It's like, sure, maybe we are interested in that kind of shit of like, how did he get all these people there? And at the end of the day, maybe it doesn't matter.
And like, what were the
But
dog
it's-
cages for? What were
I'm guessing the women.
But also like the age of the mother, let's say she was maybe, you look at her, maybe she's in her 40s, right? And she looks the way she does as a result of multiple generations of inbreeding.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough time lapse to make that.
Well, that would imply
Like-
well, then the guy would have had to have had in quick succession a bunch of premature or like young pregnancies, and had like he had a daughter. I don't even want to like really get into
It's
the details.
kinda disgusting,
but
but,
he'd
like,
have to
I
keep
just-
having kids with the kids,
Yeah.
or
but
like
there-
when they
but
grew up enough to be
not
fertile.
that much time had passed. If you look at
Yeah,
where
but-
he did it, like it was.
but if
maybe,
he
like, in the
expedites it-
I don't.
Like not in like a normal relationship, you'd
Ow.
assume by 30, and then the grandma might be like 50 something,
cut
60
my
something.
finger.
But in his household, if he's quickly doing this, then it could be the span of 40 years. Who knows?
I don't know.
I mean, how many
Because by
generations?
then, mother would, if she to look like that, mother would still be very, very, very young.
Well, what if there was some kind of weird biohazard intervention that happened that maybe they barely touched on?
I don't think.
Like where there was some kind of chemical
I don't know. I have
spill.
questions, that's
Was there
all.
like any kind of when Justin Long is riding and he's listening to the radio? Is there any kind of like news in the background or something?
No, he's singing a song and then he gets the phone call.
What's the lyrics? Are they
I don't remember.
appropriate to
I don't
the
remember the
situation?
song.
Oh.
But what I remember, about Barbarian in the beginning, when she's at the hotel, right, and she's calling the realtor or whatever lady that wherever she's sleeping,
Yeah.
it's too busy and she can't work. So she says, "Oh, there's an Airbnb in a neighborhood, but the neighborhood is not that good."
She doesn't know that until the sun comes up.
Yeah, sees all the
fucking houses with graffiti.
Right, but the lady warns her that the neighborhood isn't in a good spot. But I remember the whatever lady saying something that people were leaving the neighborhood or whatever because it was so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. People, if you haven't seen Barbarian already,
That kind of answers your question about why it was so empty.
no, I didn't. No, my question wasn't about that. It's just there was like it just seems like
I thought
it's
it was why it was so empty.
know, like the age of mother and how she's so deformed. There's not enough generations in between to have created that.
I would assume it's
still,
freak genetics. It's just like
I don't know. Either
inbreeding
way,
plus.
I like that movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen. Look at the royal family.
Jesus Christ.
No, like historically, like the there was
But that's one line of genetics. Who knows?
There was a royal family line in Spain that like literally died out because they were so inbred that like it like towards the end of the line it was like illness after illness after illness. They literally could not function without like cirrhosis of the liver and like all this crazy shit happening.
If you
to
inbreed
them.
long enough, your kid turns into a pug.
Yeah,
that's how pugs are created. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Movie rips.
It's very
right.
interesting.
It is. All right. Well, what are you eating?
A cookie.
Oh.
It's delicious.
C is for cookie.
Also, if you like Barbarian, you got to watch The Whitest Kids You Know if you haven't yet. It's a sketch comedy show, and the director of it used to be on it. One of the best shows of all time, in my opinion. Shouts out. You guys know. I bet Rich knows. I bet he gets it.
He does.
Alrighty.
But let's get back into Dear David because we still have quite a bit to go over. Santa, you want to sit and listen?
Oh, sure. It's only 5 days till Christmas. I got time.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do,
I got
right?
nothing else to do.
No. All right. Well, when we last left off, Adam was getting out of his haunted apartment for the weekend.
Yes.
So he posted a picture. He's like, yeah, I'm out. Okay. So the next day, Saturday, Ellis posted a selfie letting his followers know he was getting out of his possibly haunted apartment for the weekend. However, a follower found something disturbing in one of the glass panes in the door behind Ellis in the photograph. I zoomed in and I could not really see it, but we will post all these pictures on Instagram so you guys can look through them and make your own decision. So let's see here.
There's like a random tweet that should be there in the article, but it's like whited out for whatever reason.
Okay, so he Adam wrote, I have no explanation for this. It might have been a pareidolia, the human's brain's tendency to find non-existent patterns in noise, but maybe not. So go ahead.
But on August 14th, 2017, the Polaroids. So a weird thing just happened. Take it with a grain of salt. I bought a Polaroid camera this weekend because they're fun and dorky. I decided to take a few photos around my apartment.
And this is late in the evening as August 13th ticked over to August 14th. Ellis began posting some experiments he had just conducted around his apartment with a Polaroid camera. The specific kind of camera he used was a Fujifilm Instamax Mini 9, which seems to be quite popular with the youth these days.
Yeah, today's
I think my kids
secret
have those.
word is the Fujifilm. What is it?
Fujifilm Instamax Mini 9. Yeah. His first photograph turned out pretty normal, which... Let's see. Okay.
Polaroids are stupid and fun, and inherently sort of creepy. I didn't expect to find anything, and for the most part, I didn't. I took a couple of my living room and bedroom. That's the rocking chair I first saw David in. They're pretty unremarkable. And then these are the pictures.
Let's see those. I'm about to be shown firsthand. What is this? Are these the first of the Dear David photos?
That's the,
Yeah.
Living room photo. And then if you swipe in the tweet, then there's the...
Dude, I don't want to swipe. I hate swiping.
Then I'll swipe for you.
All right, so what I'm looking at is just the photo from the middle of the living room.
The room is as yellow as a banana.
It's very
Yes.
banana wallpaper, and it's a view of the front door and the TV, and it's just looking directly into the corner, and it's a Polaroid, handheld. He's got a big thumb. All right. Now I'm seeing a picture from inside the bedroom. You know, darker colored walls, a dark blue. I don't like the energy here, to be honest. Could be the paint.
I think it's just
Maybe Dear
darker
David is
color.
he's like an interior decorator. He's like, this is gaudy. This is very gaudy, and then he thinks he's being haunted, but no, he's just being critiqued.
Destroy me peace.
Yeah.
Santa.
Come on. The ghost of
Sorry.
Gordon Rams. So wait, this is just. I mean, I don't think I see anything. Am I supposed to see something in the
I
second
think it's
picture?
just showing the house.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and then it goes, but then
Oh, this is it.
yeah.
I thought I was preparing to see David's dent.
But then he took one of the hallway outside his front door, and the image developed completely black.
Then I went in the hallway and snapped a photo. The Polaroid developed completely black.
And you don't. It's literally just a
Based.
black Polaroid.
It's like literally just like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, you take that in the fucking
Straight
in the
up.
can. Lights off, can on.
Yeah, it wasn't the result of his finger covering the lens. He took another photograph under those conditions for comparison purposes, and the two images looked quite different.
I also thought maybe I accidentally covered the lens with my finger, so I took a photo while intentionally covering it. The photo on the left is me covering the lens with my finger. The one on the right is my fully lit hallway taken just after midnight. And they do look different. Like the one with his finger is like a lot more gray.
Yeah, one is like jet black, and the other one is a washed. It's just like a washed black, like almost like a dark gray. Interesting.
So then he took some videos on his phone of him taking the pictures, so that way you could tell nothing was faked.
And he says, I'll record myself sleeping again tonight, and I have Sage being delivered tomorrow. As always, I'll keep you in the loop.
Smudge it.
Okay,
Okay,
love a good
so-
smudge.
You gotta smudge the room.
Okay, one last thing, because I wanted to double check. Here's a couple video of me taking photos. And then
He's doing duck lips.
He's doing the duck face, 2009.
he's just like doing
I'm telling
the
you, you
scene.
guys gotta play Fatal Frame. If you haven't played Fatal Frame,
He's just doing the scene, like pose like this, like.
I gotta get myself a Polaroid and take some pictures
Alright,
here.
We could probably. Okay.
The one night it was just us, the fight night,
Yeah.
and the upstairs was going nuts. The doorknob was going nuts. It
Yeah.
was like it felt like a movie for a second. It was exciting.
It was scary,
It was
but I
exciting.
will say I am proud of you because you normally your eyes start watering.
Well, I didn't see anything. If I saw something,
No, but we were hearing.
I'd
something.
go, what the fuck is that? That's exactly what.
No, but
That would
you
be exactly what
you
happened.
flew right into action. You're like, I'm gonna go investigate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Man,
Like, it
Building
was,
up his tolerance.
even if it had a knife, I'd be more afraid of the ghost than the knife.
but I'm like, you're gonna bring a knife to a ghost fight? Like, what are you doing?
We're building
Yeah.
up his tolerance.
Was it
Yeah.
You won't be afraid anymore.
Was it
Maybe.
an earthquake?
No, it was a cat in a bedroom.
Oh.
But dude, we're hearing tangles
Like,
and
it's like-
jangles going on
Like it's like
upstairs,
doom,
and
doom,
we're like,
doom,
what the
doom.
fuck?
Like, it sounded like the cat must have had its paw under the door and was like shaking the door.
My first instinct was like ghost in a noose, ankles hitting the fucking closet wall.
That's
where
dark.
I was like.
That is dark.
I mean, that is kind of dark.
It is real.
But
dark.
I've seen The Grudge. I've seen movies. Crawl space. You got a crawl space in here? We should
They
do an
probably do.
episode live from the crawl space. And
yeah.
we got crickets in our fucking eyes.
Okay. The eeriest image of all resulted when Ellis stood inside his apartment and took a photograph of the hallway through the door at a distance.
Someone told me to take photos from farther away, so I tried that. Once with my iPhone and once with the Polaroid. Left is with my phone. Right is with the Polaroid. The hall light was on both times. Why is it pitch black each time with the Polaroid? And then, yeah.
Did you got your fucking camera off fucking Temu?
Off Temu. I don't even think Temu was a thing. In
Oh no,
2017.
this isn't his apartment. This is from Nosferatu.
Oh yes.
He's just Count Orlok's about to walk through the doorway and turn the lights on and off.
That's
Nosferatu.
Interesting. Yeah, there's nothing really I'm seeing here, right?
no. It's just weird that it's the
just
hallway is black.
It's just
in
weird
the
that, like,
Polaroid.
the-
Oh, so that's
Yeah.
what's being blocked
Yeah.
out, the vision.
It's
Alright.
odd that like the Polaroid isn't registering what's beyond the door.
So let's see. He's like, go ahead. In August, he's like, I haven't dreamed about David in a few months, and then he appeared again last night. In the dream, my bedroom was filled with hazy smoke, but I could see David sitting in a chair across the room. He was smaller this time, almost shrunken. He didn't do or say anything except look at me. Anyway, it feels like a bad omen. And then...
The fuck?
What would be a good omen in that situation?
A big David. If he was like, honey, I blew up the kid, but it's David.
BFD, big fucking David.
He catches a plane in his den.
Ellis began the next thread on August 21st, a Monday night. In it, he described falling asleep unexpectedly early on a Friday night, the night that the bananas storm was supposed to hit. It ended up not being as bad as it expected to be, and dreaming of David again. David was pulling him by the arm through some sort of warehouse. I had a dream that night where David was dragging me by the arm through an abandoned warehouse. I'm not sure why I didn't fight back in the dream or how he was strong enough to pull me, but that's dream logic for you. And then he woke up. Ellis had a weird bruise on his arm. He admitted that the bruise could have had some perfectly reasonable explanation. Maybe he injured himself during the day and didn't notice it until the next morning, but the coincidence was still odd.
Odder yet, though, was this. When he left his apartment to go get breakfast in the morning, something he does every Saturday, he passed by a food cart repair depot that's right by his apartment. Or at least it used to be right by his apartment. My brother's home. Is that like this?
I swear to fucking God. I was started crying because I just saw a shadow in the window. All I fucking saw was
I think my brother went to the bathroom. Like
it scared the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah. Out of my peripheral, it looked like signs.
Oh.
Seen in signs.
Yeah.
Vamonos.
All right, so he passed by like a food depot thing that by his apartment, or at least it used to be by his apartment. Ellis noted that he's lived in that apartment building for 4 years, and in all that time, he's never seen the depot anything less than bustling. But that day, it was silent.
Bussin'.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've lived in the neighborhood for over 4 years, and the place has always been jam-packed with carts getting service, but today it's completely abandoned. The whole warehouse was completely gutted and empty.
And then he just shows pictures of like the empty warehouse. It's nothing special. It just, yeah.
When he took a quick peek inside, he found it almost empty. The depot had been completely cleared out. All that was there was a chair, a green one.
So the place apparently he had a dream of existed. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he had a dream that like David was pulling him in an abandoned warehouse, and he happened to stumble upon an abandoned warehouse with a green chair, the same color as the rocking chair that David was first seen in.
Yup.
That's like Mulholland Drive.
But in any event, on his way back from the coffee shop, Ellis saw that the warehouse had been shut up tight. And it's just he shows a picture of the like garage door thing that every warehouse has being shut. The coincidences creeped him out, but he wasn't sure of what to do with it all. The chair, my bruise, dreaming about an empty warehouse and then passing by one, it gave me the creeps. It was a strange weekend, he concluded, I'll say.
Go ahead.
Okay. So on August 25th, 2017, no caller ID. There have been a few small developments in my apartment, but I'm not really sure what to make of them. I just know I'm scared. At the end of the week, Ellis tweeted that some small things had been happening in his apartment, but we're not actually that small. First, the cats had changed up their, hey, let's hang out by the door routine. Instead of gathering at midnight, they started doing it a few hours earlier.
So he's coming sooner?
This admittedly wasn't a huge update, but then Ellis dropped a bomb. He said he'd been getting phone calls from a masked number shortly after the cats did their thing. And then, so like around like 10:30, he like tweets out like a picture of his
He tweets these fucking cats.
Call history, and it's just full of like no caller ID, no caller ID, no caller ID.
Yeah, not even scam likely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
The
literally
fuck?
scam calls.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten a call that says no caller ID. Is that what like
I have.
if you get blocked?
I have.
Is that like a star 60 whatever the fuck?
I think it's
No.
like they're like withholding their information from you.
Well, like my sister, like I don't know how she did it, but like my sister would always like fucking mess with me. She would like do something with her contact in my phone, so that when she called me, it would show up as no caller ID, and she would keep pranking me with that. And then she would just be like, "Hi, it's
Yeah.
Julia," and then like
That's why you use you use a different thing that's you still have a number.
Google Voice.
Yeah.
You still have a
Sure.
number.
Mhm.
So you're not blocking the number. Someone's gonna
That's
answer.
how I call
But-
my prostitutes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay.
All right, Santa. Santa.
Santa,
What?
Santa
That's what he calls his cookies. He's
Oh.
he's old fashioned. Just guys, you gotta give him a chance. Don't be too crazy.
Yeah.
He's an old man. He's been around. Listen, you
Mrs. Claus is not doing
take it from me.
anymore.
He was in every
And
war.
they're cookie workers now, not
Workers of cookie.
Workers.
not the P word.
Yeah.
We say sex
What
workers.
gnome? With a PN, like pneumonia.
Jesus Christ.
I have gnome-onia.
God.
Walking pneumonia.
Yeah, it's a walking pneumonia.
Okay, this is probably Santa's last visit to the show.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Listen, you should have seen how he parked the sleigh.
yeah,
Yikes.
the calls just like kept continuing, and he like thought it was like a robocall, but he did pick up one of the calls, and he says usually if it's an automated thing, if you answer once, they quit calling. So I picked up. I didn't say anything. I just listened, waiting for some automated message to chime in. After about 1 minute, the static stopped and there was silence. I kept listening. I heard what I thought was breathing, but it was so faint I can't be sure. My heart was racing, so it was hard to hear.
Gary?
Then, just as I was about to hang up, I hear a very small voice whisper, "Hello?" Something about the way they said hello freaked me out. It wasn't a question or a greeting, just hello, a flat statement. So quiet I could barely hear it. I panicked and I hung up. I didn't know what else to do. I closed all the curtains in my apartment and turned on every single light. After that, he watched TV for the rest of the night. He was too scared to sleep. He vowed to keep writing everything that was happening down, as he said it felt like the only thing he could do.
Yeah.
Dude, that is scary, dude. Like, I never really thought of that, of how people say hello. And, yeah, it seems like almost like a statement, like a flat statement. Like, you're just saying the word. Almost
Just
like you're
like-
teaching someone how to pronounce
just
it.
like
Not even
hello.
saying hello as a greeting.
Like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Clarice.
Like, you're just reading the list of words that start with H, and it
Yeah.
happens to be one of them. That's freaky.
Ugh.
Hi.
All right. So August 28th through September 11th, 2017, the pet cam videos. So anyway, last week I bought a pet cam monitoring camera so I can keep an eye on the cats while I'm overseas. It's basically a nanny cam that connects to the Wi-Fi so you can check in wherever you want. It runs 24/7. And the evening of August 28th, another Monday, Ellis tweeted a couple of things. First, he said he'd moved the rocking chair out of his room a few weeks prior. Second, he said he was going to Japan on vacation in 3 weeks. And third, he wrote that he hoped maybe David would lose track of him while he was gone. After all, that's what had seemed to have happened when the time he moved to the upstairs apartment. But he also wrote with a bigger update. In preparation for his trip, he'd gotten a pet cam so he can keep an eye on his cats while he was away. The pet cam activates whenever it detects motion. Then it pings you on your phone to let you know what it saw. He tested it out during a brief weekend trip, and some of the footage was pretty disturbing. He goes, so I watched the feed again, still nothing. I watched it a third time and finally noticed something. Watched the chair.
The cat's doing gymnastics.
Now, is this audio we're preparing? Audio?
No, there's no audio.
It's just a video?
It's just a video, and the chair is rocking by itself. You can't really see it. It's like small, but
Maybe it's a draft in the room.
And what
it's
did
just the chair, like the rocking chair, is just rocking.
what did he take the video with? Was it just his
A
phone?
pet cam.
Oh, it was the pet cam you were talking about, 24
Yes.
hours. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
At about the 6-second mark, the green rocking chair, the one on which David had first appeared, which Ellis had subsequently moved from his bedroom to the living room, began rocking on its own. Then around a half hour later, he got another alert. This time it showed this. About a half hour later, I got another motion alert. Here's the feed of that alert. Let's see here. At the 12-second mark, a turtle shell Ellis had hanging on his wall hit the deck. Ellis said he couldn't account for the movement. He said it couldn't have been the wind, and as he doesn't keep the windows open during the summer, he didn't know what to make of it. For what it's worth, some followers started tweeting that it looked like a blue chair in the background of one of his videos vanished and reappeared at some point. Yeah. I hope nothing else happens tonight, he said on August 28th. And then right after he goes, wait, what the fuck? Someone just pointed out that one of the blue chairs in the background disappears in the second video. So
The fucking chair?
a chair in the background of the video, like not the green chair,
Uh-huh.
the one in the background, like for the second video, it just disappears. The chair's gone.
From fucking, where did it go?
I don't know.
Somewhere.
Timbuktu?
But that turned out to just be a trick of the light. If you brighten up the picture in which it looks like it's vanished, you can still see it. Okay, it's still there.
No,
Everyone
it
relax.
disappeared. I saw it.
So
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. On September 5th, Ellis began a new thread with a simple yet horrifying opening.
It's happening again. He went on to talk more about the pet cam. He'd been leaving it on 24/7, he said, and periodically reviewing the footage to see if it caught anything unusual. And the footage recorded on Saturday the previous weekend, September 3rd, definitely showed some strange goings on. So Adam Ellis tweets out, it's happening again. He went on to talk more about the pet cam. He had been leaving it on 24/7, he said, and periodically reviewing the footage to see if it caught anything unusual. And the footage recorded on Saturday, the previous weekend, September 3rd, definitely showed some strange goings on. First, it caught Maxwell the cat getting spooked by something. During the night on Saturday, while I slept, it recorded the cats in the living room. It seemed pretty unremarkable at first, but then after a few moments, Maxwell freaks out and jumps over something invisible. The video of...
Invisible candlestick?
Did someone put a cucumber near it?
Yeah, right? Fucking aluminum foil. That's weird.
Right?
Yeah, just
Cats do weird shit though. Like it
Yeah.
could be anything.
Yeah.
I saw my cat licking itself. I said, "Oh my God, we're haunted. We have a haunting."
And then it recorded Maxwell standing straight up on his hind legs over and over again.
What was he doing?
He was standing straight.
up straight.
Yeah,
like, on
no,
his hind
that's
legs.
okay.
I saw the funniest
I'm
thing of a
drawing the
dog.
line.
I'm sorry. All right, real quick sidebar. I know I told you guys no sidebars, but this is too funny. I have to show you. I sent this to my sister. It goes, imagine having someone sleep over and you don't tell them about your dog. All right, ready?
Oh, I think I've seen that one, the three-legged one.
Wait,
Yeah, I love him.
hang on.
I'm telling you, dear David's fucking a hole in his router. Bro. That is horrifying.
So funny.
The dog.
Him.
The dog.
Dude, no shot.
Wait,
No shot.
you just see that?
I would be literally throwing pillows. I'd be curling
Wait,
up.
You have to see
I'd
it.
be laughing.
Oh my God, dude. No,
Well,
not if you
bro.
didn't know, man. You'd freak.
All right, so
Coming out of the dark?
yeah, no one tells you about it. You have no idea. Just...
That's crazy, man.
Like the arm.
Like
he needs a beer.
dude, for real.
He's like, what? Forgot my keys.
You know, he needs thumbs first. Then he can have a beer.
He can open it.
Why is he gonna hold it?
Put
Yeah.
it in a bowl.
Then he's not gonna have stand.
I don't know.
Let's put the bowl high up.
Sure.
Put the bowl on the counter.
All right.
How long have we been going?
8 million hours.
4408.
Not
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
All right. And then it recorded footage in which it honestly looked like Maxwell was batting at something us humans can't see. Ellis wrote that he didn't think Maxwell was batting at a bug. First off, he just doesn't tend to do that with bugs. He just eats them, Ellis wrote. And second off, Ellis noted that he'd rarely seen bugs make their way into his apartment. Something spooked him, he wrote. The kicker, though, was actually back in that first video, and Ellis's Twitter followers spotted it pretty quickly. At around the 18-second mark, a green glass jar is sitting on the coffee table and it moved on its own accord. It's worth noting that there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for the jar moving on its own. Another Twitter user chimed in with a link discussing the physics of the whole thing. The relevant portion is this.
Fucking nerd.
When a wet...
Physics. Sorry.
When a wet glass...
That was my bully character.
When a wet glass is placed on a smooth, wet surface, a ring of water first makes a seal around the bottom edge of the glass. Then, as the glass continues towards the countertop, air that is under the glass bottom is compressed. Under ideal conditions, the small volume of pressurized air is able to support the weight of the glass. The water around the bottom edge of the glass functions as a seal to prevent the air from escaping. For a short time, the glass is floating on the surface water and moves with almost no friction. But, wrote Ellis, it's odd behavior from Maxwell in any event. Things feel off in this week. I can't explain it.
You think he was trying to go for like a Marble Hornets thing? And he just he didn't give anyone an out to believe that it was bullshit. That's why people, he's not necessarily ostracized, but people, his reputation's kind of shite, right?
I don't know.
I don't know much about him. So
actually, I don't really know because I kind of like lost track
I follow
of
him.
Yeah.
I follow him on Instagram. And he makes like comics now. Like he's an illustrator.
Because this would be an amazing like Marble Hornets like internet story that was not necessarily satire, but was fiction.
But like the main theory, because he used to work at BuzzFeed, like when Dear David was happening. So like the main theory is that he like faked all of this to get his name out there. Because he was planning on leaving BuzzFeed and like going on his own way. So, but that's just a theory. But anywho, on September 11th, the pet cam caught something else. A small knitted cactus falling from that same shelf where the turtle shell hung. And then he just like shows a picture of it like shattered on the floor. And David does not appear to like that shelf.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to like go through and like read his whole thread, you can. This was... yeah, it's very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, you don't need to know about his like history of like the guy itself, but it is interesting to see like, I guess how it started because if it is a story, if it is an ongoing story, then it's cool to see.
They made a movie, and Lindsay said it was actually like she liked it. She said she liked the Twitter thread more, I think, but the movie was pretty good. So
Steve Buscemi was in it.
No.
He played David.
Who? Oh, was
Tiny
Justin,
He
Justin
played Tiny
Long,
David,
right?
I have no idea. I've just been skipping through. Like we're trying to like scroll through and like find, like
And Rib, what were you saying?
Justin Long was in that movie.
Okay. Oh,
Was Justin Long in Dear David the movie?
yes, he was.
I think he plays like the guy who's supposed to be Adam.
BuzzFeed, you said BuzzFeed.
All right, there's one thing I am gonna read. It says Ellis didn't post another update for 2 weeks. This is like jumping way ahead. Largely because he said he didn't have anything of note to report. He wasn't sleeping well and he generally didn't feel great, but nothing major occurred until December 6th. That night, Ellis wrote he woke up with a start and felt something strange, like something had just been watching me. There was no one there when he turned on the light, of course, but he was experiencing the tangible feeling of badness. He learned to associate with David. And it goes, after a couple of nights of this, waking up suddenly, feeling like he was being watched, Ellis downloaded an app on his phone that would take photos automatically every 60 seconds and set it up on his bookcase. He left both it and the light on while he slept, and in the morning he claimed he found some really disturbing pictures on his camera roll.
Feet pics.
No. Most of the pictures were just of him sleeping in an empty room, but right toward the end, his phone snapped the following images. Let's see here. These are the famous pictures of David sitting on the couch. And
Oh, come on.
yeah.
I don't need to see this.
Did you ever see these?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are just freaky, man. Regardless, if someone painted that, like if someone drew that or made that, it's still crazy. It's a work of art.
Yeah.
It freaks me the fuck out.
Oh. 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 Santa's that's on the bad list. Oh. What the hell is that?
He's staring like
He's naked.
No, he's not.
I said pajamas inside out, not outside in.
Okay.
Is that a cat?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't know what that is.
Well, you gotta describe what you're seeing. What are we seeing? No, they're not. No one can hear.
It looks like a crumpled piece of laundry.
Let me see this. Let me see these. They don't hear what we hear. They don't. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Describe.
So what made him think this is weird? I don't even. Oh shit. Okay. Is that? Yeah. It's like a striped shirt,
Oh,
a neck,
okay. Yeah.
and he's looking downwards. Yeah. This is a photo, and this is from his room.
Mhm.
It's very bright in there. What is he doing?
brightened up.
Light on.
No.
He
it was
also brightened up
the photos.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how do you sleep like this? Dude, that is so
Alien.
freakish.
Signs.
Like some two-dimensional shit. This is a darker photo of his room, and it appears that David is standing on the bed, just looking right into his ear. That is terrifying, dude. He was on the bed, inches from me, staring down at me sleeping, says Ellis. This is insane. And like I said, man, if this was like some just internet horror story, creepypasta, Marble Hornets type thing, this is incredible.
That's like the top of his head.
Yeah, and like his
Ear?
ear. But dude, his hair even looks thin. And let's say the guy made this little weird head out of paper mache and liquid latex and hair. That's still cool. That's still kick-ass to me. But
Oh, wait, there's a video.
David moved the camera. I can't even look at this.
Okay. Hit it.
That is the
Wait, go back.
that is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I've never even seen that. That's like the scariest thing I've seen from Dear David, the whole Dear David story.
Shit.
Dude, remember the ghost dancing around
It's
the junkyard?
It's a video. I think
The
it's-
junkyard ghost?
He just compiled all the stills together, and you see him moving across the room, getting up on the bed, and going to the camera and like turning it.
Yeah, but it is like a 7-Eleven security cam. But despite having a low frame rate, you can see the motion. It's really freaky, dude. Even if that's fake, what the fuck?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
But and then like later on in like the thread, he goes home for the holidays,
Yeah.
and like you see footprints in the snow that could be David's.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Dude.
Yeah.
But,
And why can't that kind of shit be in movies? Like, why can't someone be like, like Paranormal Activity or Conjuring? The Conjuring would never use something that scary. Like, that is some weird IRL fear shit.
What is that?
The picture of David.
Is he like crouched?
hovering over him.
Is he jumping on the bed?
He's in like a frog. He's in like a frog stance. He's about to do well, what if he just jumped off the top rope?
Jeff Hardy.
I jump off the top rope like I'm Jeff Hardy. You guys know what I'm talking. Someone's got to know out there.
I'm sure they do.
Someone in Turkey.
I'm in Turkey.
Okay. So let's see. All right. But yeah, that's the gist. It's just
Yeah.
some pictures
You got to send me that video.
of
That's
a
terrifying.
little kid with a dented head that may or may not have existed, may or may not have haunted that man.
Haunts fucking me.
It haunts Chris.
I'm not gonna forget that.
I'm gonna randomly just text you that video.
I want to break. I do want to break it down. Like that thing. It's just. So,
You should draw him.
Yeah, I should draw David,
Yeah.
deer, of course, and
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, let's say that was made, fabricated. What did he use? Like, was it Photoshop and just a bunch of frames? And when he piled them on top of each other, it was like a simple animation flip book style deal, or did he use
Flip a clip.
Because it doesn't even look like a 3D model. It looks like 2-dimensional at times, but it still looks there. And it's just really interesting. I got to see. I want to know how he made it. If he made it, maybe we'll never know.
Maybe you should try to make one of your own.
I should.
Yeah.
And
my
see
own little,
what your own internet horror story.
my own little internet horror thing.
Yeah.
And
I
the
would
worst
dig a
part
horror
is like
story
you
from
can't really just. It's gonna suck if I have friends that know.
No, you have to.
You got to just do it and
yeah.
then have it find out through the grapevine under some kind of alias.
Right.
You know, I'll have to find an alias, guys. If you guys have any, what do they call that? Suggestions for aliases for my internet ghost story that I could be under, let us know at Coffee and Scream. Coffee and Scream at Twitter. What is it? What's the Twitter?
See Scream Pod. Let's see the letter.
Yeah.
Scream Pod. Or you can email us at coffeeandscreampodcast@gmail.com. Your fake name suggestions for Chris.
Yes, I would really love to hear.
Susie Buckets.
And
Susie Buckets.
And we are
like
always, DMs and email is always open for personal ghost stories.
Yep.
We love them.
We
I have
also
some.
have an Instagram.
We're not there
for
yet.
that.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Is Instagram haunted? Does it have to do with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. No, we're not closing up yet.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't know. Oh, I still have some. I know. Friend to the pod, Daniel, sent us some ghost stories that we will. I will play eventually, Daniel. I promise.
Yes.
We're getting there.
I'm interested to hear his
Yeah.
ghost stories. Oh,
And there is a scene, Santa Claus. There is a
Is
scene in this video where you can see a bunch of stuff happen as a result of this ghost. You really got to see it.
Oh boy.
Should I play? I'll play you that one thing.
Yeah. Because when I saw this, I was like, this is, because I knew
Really?
before you were a toy maker, you were like a detective.
He was.
So I think I was trying to see if maybe you'd come out of the North Pole
Famous
for one.
Saint Nicholas the detective.
Yeah, Saint Nick, Sergeant Nick, Alyss. But I think you should come out of hiding for one last job. I think we need you on the force.
I'm retired.
Come on, one last job.
All
You're
right.
you're the best damn cop we've ever had.
So here's a video.
Criminal.
Here's the video of. This is proof my house is haunted. This is Daniel, our listener.
Mm-hmm.
They got me doing 3 sets of this. Okay.
Did you see it?
No. I can't see
It
it.
passed right in front of the camera.
I don't know why everything's falling over, but it is. Thanks.
I love him.
There's absolutely no reason why that fell off there. Probably a ghost.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Remarkable. Unbelievable performance.
Amazing.
When I
Yeah.
saw that, my jaw hit the floor.
Can I see that?
No, he's gonna break the phone. He's gonna break the phone.
No.
Don't get to him.
We're gonna play it again.
Yeah. Because I'm interested to see what good old.
Yeah, I put a red circle in the video so you can see exactly the moment shit hits the fan.
Wants to fall over.
It really is interesting.
Right here.
They got me doing 3 sets of this.
What the fuck?
Is that a face? Was that a face?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
It looks like a face, like a head, peeks through the gap.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, do you see it?
Dude, what?
Hold on. Oh, I think we're onto something,
Watch
Daniel.
Right here.
Where?
Like right above the crack, right above this. Do you see the 3 stack right there? When it falls, look at you.
Okay.
It's not, but it looks like it. That was, yeah. It just goes, peekaboo.
Yeah.
I don't know why everything's falling over, but it is.
Oh my god. Isn't it? This is very Aleister Crowley.
There's absolutely no reason why
I love this.
Probably a ghost.
Oh my god, we should edit him like Spider-Man. Like he's on a brick wall.
Oh my god.
Look at him. We could put like a city road and cars behind him. Daniel Johnson. Mm-hmm. What a character, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's some ghosts in there.
You think so?
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I think there was something. Because why would that have fell out of nowhere? Unless it was his sultry voice echoing into the fibers of his apartment, like the floor, and like the vibration caused just like an earthquake test to the desk. I think so. That's it.
Or that, you know,
I think it was-
the
Have
pole
you
is
ever?
strong.
Do you have any ghost stories, Santa?
Yeah, what about that past, present, and future? What's all about that about?
That has nothing to do with me.
A third party
The third party.
What
franchise, huh?
What about Krampus? Like, do you know anything about him? Like,
That's my brother.
oh really?
Older brother.
Was he the one that like got like locked in the
thought that was
closet
Fred
or whatever?
Claus.
Like,
Fred Claus? That's my dad.
No.
Dad. He's my dad.
does he know Fred Durst?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What, Robert Durst?
It's Fred. That's his brother.
No, do you know who Robert Durst is?
No.
Oh,
I don't either. Who's
What
that?
about
it's another killer.
Oh, on Tuesday it was Giovanni Ribisi's birthday. Daniel McMahon.
Daniel McMahon.
McMahon. Yeah, I figured I'd give him
Awesome.
a shout out. That was a good time.
Yes.
Who else? Who else was it birthday wise?
I don't remember.
He was It was my birthday.
Was it?
No,
Oh, Gary.
no, it
We'll see if you have any pearls of wisdom for us this week.
even know my birthday.
Oh, you
every day's my birthday, honey.
Aw,
come sit next.
Now, Gary's on the nice list.
Gary is on the nice list.
the damn bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what Gary has to say.
This is my friend. I'm taking little bites out of it because it's so good. I don't want to eat it too fast. And this is actually an enchantment from the desert of the ocean. It is a baby squid.
Calamari.
Shrimp.
Calamari.
Dude, I would have that.
Good for him.
I'd pull up a chair so fast.
Yeah.
I'd pull up a chair. Both my elbows on the table. By
Well,
the way.
what about like here's him just eating cake, and he's so happy.
This might be copyright because the music. I don't know. Who sings that song? Pisses me off.
Santa has a story for you if you are ready to go.
I'm ready.
Sure.
It's a 15-minute long story, apparently. Ho!
Oh.
Ho.
Do it.
Okay. The night I met Santa Claus.
But you're Santa.
But I'm Santa. I know.
Oh, how meta. Let's go.
It is-
You gotta
Santa-ception.
keep up, see how people are saying about you. This is like your Yelp.
Right.
review.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
gotta check in.
All right, go ahead. Check twice.
Check. Santa Claus coming to town.
Okay, give me back up and give me a nice ho ho ho. When I say back up, I mean back up.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Physically.
Yeah, you need to move. There we go.
It has been said that you should never meet your idols. It was the Christmas of 2005 that I came face to face with mine. Someone the majority of people don't believe in, after a certain age, of course. I was 10 years old at the time and still held on to my beliefs, regardless of the inherent mocking it would earn. Joanna, my older sister, Joe or Jojo to her friends and family, outright laughed at my insistence the man in the hat was real.
Jojo Siwa.
Where's she at? But she was always a logical thinker, even when she was much younger. When I was only 3 or 4, she rolled her eyes at me, my excitement about the arrival of jolly old Saint Nick. Having never bought into it, even when she was just a little girl, according to our dad. That's fine, I thought. Don't matter if you believe in him, because he believes in you. Not the most well thought out inner argument, but it was good enough for an imaginary kid who couldn't stand the thought of his sister ending up with a stocking full of coal, even if she was being a jerk about the whole thing. When that December dragged by, at a snail's pace, or so it felt to a kid eagerly anticipating whatever new goodies may be awaiting him on the morning of the 25th, I forced together my plan to prove her wrong, once and for all. Sure, I can't deny that the satisfaction of having a well-deserved "I told you so" to greet Joe on Christmas morning was at least a little bit behind my motivations, but also couldn't resist the opportunity to meet the fabled jolly man in the red suit.
Oh, yeah.
My dad chuckled at my insistence that I would be camping out in the living room the night of the 24th, while my mom only shrugged with a smile. "Just be sure to get some sleep, kiddo," Dad said, still laughing at my eagerness mixed with exhausted yawns. I held the small camera I decided a Christmas or two back clutched in my hand. I received a Christmas or two back clutched in my hand beneath the blanket, prepared to take a few shots as soon as Saint Nick made his appearance. But as the house fell still, I found it far more difficult to keep my eyes open. While the couch wasn't nearly as comfortable as my bed on the second floor, the excitement of the season, along with a good deal of playing out in the snow, left my eyelids far too heavy to battle against. I can't be certain how long I was out for, with only the lights from the tree illuminating the living room around me. But when the creaking of the floor and the jingling of the decorations hanging from the tree caused me to stir back to awareness, I instantly felt my fingers tingle with anticipation. For my plan to prove fruitfully, I would have to keep up the act of sleeping child. One fully unaware of the visitor, I could vaguely see through my half-shut eyes. From the angle I was laying on, I could only make out from the waist down of the man who finished goodies from his hefty bag. Laying them gently,
You can't say finished and hefty bag in the same sentence.
Oh, fish.
I'm thinking about starting a new list.
It says fished. It's not
Okay,
finished.
you can't say fish.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Hefty bag.
Okay. All right, Santa. Bring it.
Oh.
Santa's had enough sugar on his cookies.
Laying them gently beneath the tree, but I had no doubt I was witnessing the actions of the very man I hoped to see. With his back to me, I softly but hastily searched my fingertips around for the camera, which had fallen from the grip. After I knocked out, but I attempted to keep my actions unnoticed. I slightly gasped aloud when my hand wrapped around the plastic shell, causing the man by the tree to spin in place, almost catching me red-handed. I snapped my eyes back shut, rolling them from side to side beneath the lids to imitate the rapid eye movement I had read about online. Whether or not I was overdoing it, acting as though I was erratically scanning them in every direction while still firmly closed, I had no way of knowing. But when I felt the air shift as the man drew closer to where I lay, I found it more difficult to hide my excitement.
This better not be going where I think it's going. That's all I'm gonna say.
Santa baby.
Santa Claus erotica.
Stop. Oh, okay. God.
What the fuck is wrong with
He's
you?
about to slip a sable somewhere.
Oh my god.
I breathed in the scent of freshly baked cookies and peppermint, convincing me that I truly was in the presence of the fabled gift giver himself. There was something else beneath the more inviting smell, something musty and aged. But I assumed the big guy had worked up quite a sweat, giving his laborious profession. After a few moments, I felt the oxygen around me regulate as the light footsteps sounded though they moved away from me again. So I took a chance of cracking open my eyelids. Sure enough, the man in the red suit was hunched over by the tree again. I knew it had to make it quick, or I would lose this small window of providing evidence to my sister. In one swift but silent motion, I pulled the camera free from my blanket, aimed it at the man who still faced the tree, and snapped 3 pictures back to back. Moving my fingers so quickly, I didn't have time to register the bright flash. I felt my breath catch in my throat as he spun to face me, something I could barely make out through the lingering effects of the blinking bright lights on my eyes, which had grown accustomed to an otherwise darkened room. What are you laughing about?
This small window, crack my eyes open, back to back. He turns to face me, the breath in my throat.
Okay.
He's worked up quite a sweat. I mean, this is salt burn. This is salt burn.
Oh my god.
Go on.
Can I have a Coke, please?
Get Santa a Coke. He's working up a sweat.
I'm working up a sweat. I'm getting hot and horny.
Yes,
Ah! I'm just trying to drink my smart water in peace, man.
Not a sponsor.
Yes.
Careful.
You gotta say it like you're driving past in a car. Ow! Terrible.
All right.
15 minutes, my ass.
That's against the rules, little boy. His deep voice said, with his posture unchanged from what I could tell. I'm so sorry, I stuttered, feeling my eyes well up. I just wanted to prove to my sister that you're real. You're not the first, unlikely to be the last, but it's still forbidden, I'm afraid. I could see the silhouette rising back to his feet, with the blotches of lingering light still blocking most of my view. He moved closer to where I lay, only slightly raised, with the camera clenched between my trembling fingers. It was fear that caused my extremities to shiver. Oh, come on!
Whoever wrote this needs to be in jail.
Yeah.
Literal prison.
But that sensation of
by Freud.
But that sensation of guilt, embarrassment from being caught doing something I shouldn't have, were this any other man, I would likely be so scared that I couldn't even, from the stuttered words I managed to utter, but I was comfortable in the fact that Father Christmas would never harm a child, regardless of how naughty they were acting. Give it to me, he said, holding his padded mitt just beneath my face. I raised the camera, placing it in his hand, keep my guilt-ridden gaze fixed on my wrinkled blanket. There's nothing to feel bad about, my boy, he said, sliding the camera into his pocket with one hand and tussling my hair with the other. Go back to sleep now. Ho, ho, ho. But, well, I mean, does that make me naughty? No.
Ew! Ew!
He's like, oh, second thought. Oh, second thought, yeah.
Ew!
I'm gonna let you go. After that, nah.
I feel like I need to go to church. Like,
All right. Okay.
No, young Mr. Cobb. You have graced my nice list exclusively for years, he said with a hearty chuckle. I was a curious child myself once, so very long ago. Finally feeling comfortable enough to raise my eyes to meet those of the man who stood beside the couch, I found my voice silenced when I met his smiling face. While things were still somewhat out of focus from the lingering effects on the camera flash, what I saw through the haze was far from what I expected. Whether it was the fact that the skin tone on the left side of the face was not the same as the right, the green and the red threads holding the mismatched flaps of skin together, or the two different colors and sizes of the eyes were what caught me off guard. I didn't know. Whatever aspect of the crudely priced together thing, for lack of a better term, was certain that this could not truly be who I expected. A visit from the snowy Christmas morning. As my
I told you should have got that milk for Santa.
As my jaw fell open, a scream caught my throat as the creature in the red swiftly and firmly placed a hand over my mouth. Now, he said, smiling so wildly that a few stitches popped where his mouth was hemmed on the left side. There's no sense in allowing your curiosity to wake everyone else in the house. I was frozen when the sight of this patchwork man caused my guilt to be replaced with a fear I had never known. My whole body trembled as the one green and one hazel eye glared into mine. Tears were streaming down my face and over the padded glove that rested over my mouth, while my mind fought to wrap around what I was looking at. There's nothing to fear, my boy, he said, winking the brown eye, his words now accompanied by a whistling through the gap of the side of his mouth.
The brown eye.
Stop! Oh my god. So sad. I was like, Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Don't. I know what you want to do.
Christ.
Don't.
Hold
I'll
on.
do it. I'll do it.
Hold on. The fucking website refreshed on me.
That, I mean, tell me that I wasn't onto something within a couple sentences. You know, that is, I like this story. I think it's a great story. I'm already spooked. We got Harvey Dent as Santa with a brown eye,
Right.
and he's got a what is it, throbbing throat?
I
What did
guess
it
so.
say?
Jesus Christ.
Accompanied
He's bent over in front of the tree.
accompanied by a whistle through the gap on the side of his mouth. I may not look as you imagined, but I assured you I am who you sought to meet this night. What are you? I asked, pulling the hand from my mouth with my shivering fingers. You know who I am, Edward. No, you can't be. I shook my head almost violently as I pushed my shoulder blades against the back of the couch, as though this would somehow grant me freedom from the hideous thing. The smile faded from the patchy bearded face as those opposing eyes glared down at me. While he hung his head, turning away from me, he strolled to my father's recliner, which sat diagonally across from where I lay. When he spun again to face me, lowering himself to my dad's favorite chair, we just glared at one another, my eyes still filled with terror and his with something resembling shame. I've been doing this for a long time, Edward, he said in a strangely compassionate voice. Immortality, can assure you, does not come without cost. You can't be him. I won't believe it, I said, still shaking my head in denial. I am young, Mr. Cobb. He's gonna.
What? What?
No, that's his name. He's gonna stop.
Okay. We're gonna have to cut that.
I'm sorry that I am not what you expected, but I assure you, there is no need to be afraid. I would never hurt a child. No, not even the naughty ones? Not even. Not when they're still young enough to change. Anyway. Even if they're really bad? No, not ever. Never a child. Not if I can help it. Besides what the train is for. The train? Nothing to concern yourself with, my boy. Oh, Jesus fuck.
Santa. That's not very Santa. That's not very Kringle.
Not very holly jolly of
No,
you.
not very. Yeah.
Why is this story making Santa out to be such a predator?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm.
well, he says he'll never hurt a child, but
Like,
what is this? Is this kid 17? It's about to be midnight.
I don't
It's
know.
his birthday.
oh my god.
He's gonna stab him under the mistletoe.
Again, we gazed at one another for so long that my eyes began to burn from my refusal to blink. Not only was I still so horrified by what sat across from me, but I dreaded to think what he might have done if I took my eyes off of him for a second. My whole body continued to tremble while I still forced my back against the plush cushions of the couch with my blanket pulled up to my quivering lower lip. Every fiber of my being was in complete denial of what I was looking at, regardless of the fact that he clearly had no ill intentions at the time. In fact, I grew steadily more uncertain of after what came next. "Stop looking at me like that," he said, barely louder than a whisper, both sides of his uneven brow pinching tightly on his upper eyelids. I didn't stop. I couldn't. I had no control over it at the time. He may as well have asked me to levitate 3 feet above the cozy sofa with how much I was able to manage what my body and mind were going through at that time. "Stop it," he repeated, leaning forward to lean his elbows on his knees. "Do you have any idea what I have endured over the centuries? Do you have the slightest semblance of appreciation for what I put myself through to continue to give you, ungrateful children, a happy Christmas?" I shook my near-spasming head, not in response to his question, but in further denial of what I was witnessing. "I turned myself into abomination for you? You and all of the other kids out there? Is that not good enough?" I turned away from him, finally allowing my gaze to drift from his. "Look at me," he shouted, reclaiming my unyielding attention as he practically leapt to his feet, whipping the hat from his scalp and tearing open his coat. The scars and stitched together mismatched shades of flesh across his emaciated chest almost caused me to scream out so loudly. I managed to wake the dead as well as my sleeping family. The stringy and matted patchwork hair and mangled scalp looked as though the thread holding it together would pop apart any second. Unzipping the seams to reveal little more than the skull beneath. "This is what I had to become to continue my chosen path," he said in a cracking voice, pulling his coat back shut. "I became this monstrosity for you.
I didn't ask you to do that, Santa.
For all
wanted a
the
PS6.
children of the
Yeah.
world." He paced closer to me again, inspiring me to attempt to force myself deeper into the cushions. As he crouched down to look directly into my eyes, my tears let loose, transforming from the trickling stream to a veritable hurricane. "Stop that." He gripped the fingers around my shoulders so tightly I thought he planned to claim my arms, to stash them away for a rainy day, while I became aware of the fact that one of his hands felt so much larger than the other, far stronger as well, that only drove the madness of it all so much deeper into my brain. Look at the wonders I brought you," he said, removing one hand to gesture to the pile of neatly
I got you a Yeti mug!
It is too much to expect a little gratitude. The mismatched scowl softened to reveal his own glossy eyes, glistening in the soft illumination of the festive lights upon the tree. In that moment, even though my horror-stricken vision at the time, I could finally make out the melancholy and hurt-filled expression of the kind face, hidden away behind the grotesque patchwork flesh. "Thank you," I said, my tears finally dissipating. "And I'm sorry. Sorry I got scared. It's just..." "No," he said, grip softening on my shoulder. It is I who should apologize, my dear young man." His hand fell limp to his sides, tracing his padded gloves across the carpeted floor as he hung his head, shying his eyes away from mine. I let the blanket slip from my fingers, raising my hand to his cold and wrinkled cheek.
All right, we're back. Get it on.
"It actually feels kind of neat," I said, running my no longer shivering digits across the seam, holding the upper flap of his face to the lower. "Does it hurt?" He just shook his head, still seemingly studying the floor beneath his knees. "Only at first. Goes numb after a time."
Jesus Christ.
I bet that's a good thing when it's really cold out," I said sincerely, shifting myself closer to him. "I played in the snow today, and my skin felt like it was on fire after a while." Is that right? He said with a chuckle, raising his eyes back to meet mine. It's been a long time since I felt anything like that. It really sucked because I wanted to stay out there, but I couldn't even make my fingers move. They were so cold. I came back inside and I got crazy pins and needles. Though the smile he returned seemed slightly up his face, a few more stitches popped loose on the side of his mouth, almost reawakening the fear I had begun to bury away. When he raised a gloved hand to the loose thread, I could see the shame returning as he turned his gaze from mine once more. Want me to help you fix it? My mom showed me how to sew a bit when I kept tearing up the knees of my pants. No, he said, with a...
I mean, come on. Are we like... Also, how much is left of this?
I don't know. With
That's not a good sign.
With
You gotta know how long this is.
It said it
you
was
can't
a
go all
50
night.
It said it was a 15
it's
minute
almost
read.
done.
Okay.
Half smile on the side of my mouth. That was...
It's like, oh man, there's butter cookies in there.
But I certainly do appreciate the offer, young Edward. With that, he got back to his feet, smiled back down at me once more, and walked back and where his bag lay beside the tree. I'm afraid I must be going, my young friend. Many more children on the list before the sun rises. I pulled back my blanket, jumped to my feet, and approached the man in the red suit, no longer afraid of what he had in store for me. I really am sorry, Santa, I said, feeling my back tense from my guilt. No, my boy, he said, turning into my face. It is I who owes you an apology. It has been years since I have allowed this. He held his hands to his face to be seen by anyone, aside from those I work alongside. I almost forgot how jarring it can be to the unsculpting. I reached up to wrap my fingers around the puffy mitten of his left hand. He winced at first, as though shocked by the act, but when I tightened my grip to reassure him, I felt my heart skip a little when my hand closed around the empty section of padding. I looked up at him as though wordlessly asking if he was alright before I slipped the glove from his hand. I felt my jaw fall loose when my eyes met the sight of the 3 missing fingers, leaving only a forefinger and a thumb in their stead. What happened? I started from fear this time, but from the sadness awaking within him. A small accident some weeks back, he said, almost dismissively. Nothing to worry about, young lad. Can you get new ones? Soon enough, my boy. I just need the right donor, he replied with a warm smile. But you said you wouldn't hurt nobody, I said, feeling my heartbeat quicken again. I've never hurt a child, dear Edward, he said, pulling the mitten back over his hand, but a few lumps of coal are not quite effective to a naughty adult. With that, he gave me a wink, tousled my hair again with his fully fingered right hand, and picked the large bag back up. You had better get some sleep now.
Santa forgets and he has to turn it back on.
While I was still pretty freaked out by everything that night he had presented me, I no longer felt afraid of the patchwork man in the red and white suit. Before I walked back to the couch, I wrapped my arms around him, apologizing one last time for acting like such a jerk. He just laughed, gently returned my hug. Merry Christmas, Edward Cobb, he said, a slight crack in his voice. Merry Christmas, Santa, I replied, finally releasing my grip to head back to my warm blanket. When I climbed back under the covers, I glanced back to the tree to see no trace of jolly old Saint Nick.
He's still there with his binoculars. He didn't go anywhere. He just...
But I think I expected that. I heard no hooves stomping across the roof.
He's like, I'm gonna get this fucker.
He's still there.
No jovial chuckles as he rode out of earshot, only the silence of the house at rest. By the time I awoke the following morning, greeted by my loving parents, excited sister, and many presents to open, I had already convinced myself that I had eaten far too much junk food the night before. That was always a safe enough explanation for my more bizarre and far out dreams. I found my camera hidden away beneath the blanket with not even one picture have been taken. After Christmas morning proceeded like normal, normal for what I had experienced over my handful of years by that point, my father received a phone call. He looked almost puzzled when he glanced at the caller ID before answering, but the confusing
Said no caller ID.
But the confused expression on his face quickly turned to something more concerned and uneasy. He whispered to my mother words I could not make out, causing her face to mimic it as the time. But he turned down her offer to accompany him as he threw out some warmer clothes, almost sprinting out the front door. "Where's Dad going?" Joe asked, turning her attention away from her new iPod for the first time in hours. "He has to go meet your Uncle Bob," Mom replied, appearing uneasy about this rendezvous. I had only met my father's brother once, some 4 or 5 years before that Christmas day. If memory serves me, even back then I could tell that Mom didn't think too highly of the man, but he was only at the house for maybe 10 or 20 minutes at most. I overheard my parents arguing that night, with my mother insisting that Dad's brother was not welcome in our home. While Dad seemed pretty agitated by her words, he didn't put up as much of a fight as I expected. By the more they talked, after yelling, "Calm down," the more I understood. It's almost done. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Keep going.
We're at 2.5 hours. No, I'm kidding.
I would find out sometime later that Robert Cobb, who was 2 years older than my dad, cared more about the bottle than his brother's family. He prioritized his addiction over his wife and kids as well. For that matter, having only met him that one time, I had no idea I had 3 cousins. A boy around my age, 2 daughters, 3 and 5 years my senior. With those facts in mind, when my dad showed back up 2 hours later, accompanied by Uncle Bob, I could understand why my mom looked fit to burst. As my father looked back at her with his eyes quivering with begrudging burgeoning
Tom
tears.
Bergeron?
She looked completely
Oh my god.
completely lost for words when Robert threw his arms around her, apologizing for such a terrible brother-in-law. It was at that point where I was completely distracted from all the goodies I had unwrapped that morning, gazing up at the adults who were acting so strangely to my youthful eyes, that I noticed something that caused my breath to catch in my throat. Some minutes later, Bob would explain the bandages wrapping around his left hand, how he had awakened this morning with a wide red ribbon where the gauze now sat, being still hung over from the binge drinking of the previous night, the same way he had ended just about every day since his wife left him, taking their children with her. He had no memory of how he lost those 3 fingers, nor why he encased the bloody stumps in the festival ribbon. Seeing this as much needed wake-up call to finally put the work attempted to get his back life on track. He headed straight to the hospital, placing the call to my father when he arrived. When my parents escorted him into the kitchen, pretty much ordering my sister and me to stay out, we couldn't help but listen from the other side of the door. Though I was still far too young to truly understand a lot of what was being said, while Uncle Bob was confessing to, Joe attempted to explain to me later, in more child-friendly terms. Essentially, Robert admitted to the abuse he had inflicted on his wife and children. While he had only gotten physical with his spouse, he was just ashamed of that as the years of verbal abuse. Over the following months, my father stood by his brother's side while he fought to get clean. With the full support of my mom, sometimes down the line, his estranged wife gave him a second chance. Ultimately, they could not see a relationship but remain friends. Even though she remarried, he could, however, become far more involved to the lives of his children as well as the niece and nephew. To this day, Uncle Bob keeps in touch. I don't see him as much as I used to. Him or my cousins, but that's just part of getting older, I suppose. We also get together for Thanksgiving and Christmas. The latter of being more important to my uncle than any other holiday, is at the anniversary of when he realized the monster he had become. That's pretty. It's just too. That's
Okay.
That's pretty much it. But the end is basically summarizing how
Uncle Bob was a piece of shit,
yeah,
and Santa cut off his fingers.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Well, he's like the creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Right.
Right. He's like he replaces his parts with others.
What's so Santa like
Bad adults.
like a vigilante like
He's like the creeper.
for,
Where
like,
if he needs like
kids
spare
in
parts.
he's
in the
harvests.
story, like
Well, yeah. I mean, he's a naughty adult.
Well, happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Ho!